Once upon a time in a small, quiet town, there lived a little girl named Lily. Lily was just like any other 7-year-old, curious, bright-eyed, and full of wonder. But there was one thing that made Lily different. At night, when she fell asleep, she was transported to a magical world, a world that no one else knew about. Every time she closed her eyes and drifted off to sleep, she would find herself in a kingdom filled with soft, glowing meadows and towering trees. Unicorns with shimmering coats galloped through fields of rainbow-colored flowers. The sky was a perfect shade of lavender, and the air smelled like candy and fresh rain. It was the most beautiful place she had ever seen. One special night, when she arrived in this magical land, the creatures of the kingdom gathered around her. The unicorns bowed, the fairies danced, and the majestic creatures of the land whispered her name in awe. They told her that she was no ordinary child. She was meant to be their queen. "Lily, you have the heart of a leader," the fairy queen said, handing her a crown made of silver and diamonds that sparkled like stars. "With this crown, you will have the power to protect our world." And just like that, Lily became the queen of the kingdom of the unicorns. She wore her crown proudly and discovered she had magical powers, just like the fairies. She could make flowers bloom with a flick of her finger, summon gentle breezes with a wave of her hand, and heal the wounded with a whisper. Every night, she ruled the land with kindness and wisdom, helping her magical friends in whatever way she could. But when she woke up the next morning, back in her own little room, she kept the secret to herself. She knew no one would believe her if she told them about the magical world she visited every night. Her mother would smile and think it was just a dream, and her friends would laugh. So, Lily kept it all locked inside, only letting her heart glow with the joy of the adventures that were hers alone. Then one night, something terrible happened. The kingdom of the unicorns was attacked by a dark and monstrous creature. It had black, smoky fur, glowing red eyes, and huge claws that tore through the kingdom like a whirlwind. Lily, still the young queen, tried to protect her friends, but the monster was too powerful. Many of her beloved unicorns and fairies fell in battle, their magical lights dimming one by one. That night, when Lily closed her eyes, the familiar world of the kingdom felt different. It felt cold and empty. Her friends were gone. Her kingdom, once full of life and joy, was now a shadow of itself. But Lily wasn't the kind of girl to give up. She couldn't just let her magical world fall into darkness. So, with a heavy heart, she stood tall and decided to fight back. She gathered the remaining unicorns and fairies, forming an army of brave souls determined to take down the dark monster that had hurt them all. She led the charge, her heart full of courage, and her fairy magic blazing brightly in the night. They fought fiercely, and together, they defeated the dark monster. It was the hardest battle Lily had ever fought, but she was proud. Her friends were safe once again, and her kingdom would soon begin to heal. When Lily woke up the next morning, her heart was light, knowing she had done something extraordinary, even if it was just a dream. But then, something strange started happening. The next few nights, Lily closed her eyes and waited to be transported back to the magical kingdom. But nothing happened. She opened her eyes, and she was still in her bedroom, the moonlight softly shining through the window. The unicorns were gone, the fairies too, and the crown was nowhere to be seen. Night after night, Lily waited, but each time, the magical world didn't come. One evening, feeling especially sad, Lily was about to crawl into bed when she noticed something shiny peeking out from under her pillow. She pulled it out and discovered a small, dusty book. It had no title, but the pages inside seemed to call out to her. As she opened it, she realized that the story inside was almost exactly like the one she had been living, of a little girl who became queen of a magical kingdom, fought a dark monster, and saved her world. Curious, she turned the pages, and that's when it hit her. This wasn't just her dream, it was a story. The very same story her mother had told her when she was a baby. It had been a bedtime tale that brought her comfort and joy. when she was too young to understand the words. She had never thought much about it, but now it made perfect sense. She had somehow been living out the story in her dreams. The next morning, Lily went to her mother and asked, "Mom, did you ever tell me a story about a magical kingdom, unicorns, and a dark monster?" Her mother smiled softly and nodded. "I did, sweetheart. It was a story I used to tell you when you were just a baby. It always seemed to bring you so much joy, even when you were too little to understand it." Lily frowned, her brow furrowing with realization. So it was just a dream all along? Her mother knelt beside her, taking her hands. Sometimes dreams are more than just dreams. They are a reflection of who we are inside, and the stories we hear shape who we become. You are a strong, brave girl, Lily. Just like the queen in that story, you have the power to achieve great things. You just have to believe in yourself. Lily smiled faintly, her heart both heavy and full. I guess it was just a dream, but it was the best dream ever. That night, Lily climbed into bed with no expectations, feeling a little sad but grateful for the adventure. She closed her eyes and drifted to sleep, hoping for something magical to happen, even though she didn't quite know what that might be. But when she opened her eyes again, she found herself in a dark, unfamiliar place. The walls were made of stone, and the air smelled damp. She looked around, feeling a chill run down her spine, when she saw someone standing in the corner of the room. It was the monster, but this time, something was different. It was trapped. Lily's heart raced as she took a step forward. "What happened to you?" she whispered, not sure if she was ready for the answer. The monster's glowing red eyes locked with hers. And for the first time, it didn't seem so dark and terrifying. What was happening? What would Lily do next? The story, it seemed, was far from over,